free. Okay. So hello everyone, we'll be covering today math, grade 6 CA. So let's start with week 7. So as you can see in the first, you can just figure it out by looking at the picture if it's right angle, obtuse, or equilateral, or isosceles, right? You can pronounce it isosceles or isosceles, whatever is easy for you. So now you can draw it out for yourself. You see that this one is long, there's a shorter side, and then there's a hypotenuse. That's becoming a diagonal side. So now here, whenever you have a triangle like this, automatically in your head, you should say it's a right angled. Okay, let's go to the next one. Now here at the beginning of each year, the book when it was published is shown in Roman numerals. Book A is MMV2, and then there is book B, which is MMX2. So now let's figure out. Now Roman numerals, what you can do with this is that whenever you want to find out the numbers, you have to add them, right? So we need to understand what each letter means. So we can add them together and we can find out what is that number in the numbers that we use every day, that we use the numbers in. So M is 1000. Keep this in mind. So now it means we understand that they're dealing with, again, this is 1000. So they're dealing with 2000, the year 2000. So V is 5, I is 1, and then I again is 1. So this is 2007. You just add them together and you find out what that Roman numerals is representing for book A. For book B, it's going to be 1000 plus 1000. And then there is the x, which is 10. The x stands for 10, so x equals 10. And I stands for 1. And then I again stands for 1. Right? So that's going to be 10, 11, 12. So this is going to be 1 and then 1 again. So when you add all of these, you get 2, 0, 1, 2. So 2012, right? So now they're asking us, what is the question asking us? Now, which book was published recently? Now, how do we know which book was published recently? That was the most recent to our time, which is 2025. So that will be book B, right? Because that's closer, that's 2012. Next, in decimal numbers, we just write 2012 because the numbers that we use in the everyday, that's what they're asking for here. So in here, they're asking us, there's a special offer at clothing store. Zane chooses 4 t-shirts that cost 24, 19, 7.18, 27.20. Now, what is the offer exactly? Buy any 4 t-shirts and get the cheapest one completely free. So which one of these is the cheapest one? 7.18. Now they ask us what fraction of the normal total price does he save? Now, what is the total amount of price that he was going to pay? It's at the bottom, right? It's here. And then how much was he going to save is 7.80. So they're asking what fraction. So fraction is that 7.80 was he going to save over the total price. The total price is the original price that he was going to pay, but he's not paying that anymore. He's saving some of it, right? So this is the total price. So in 780 is that how much he was going to save because that's the cheapest shirt. So 7.80 goes up. When you add all the numbers at the bottom, and please do the questions as I'm doing them, so you'll be able to check where the mistake is if you have any mistakes. So 24 plus 19 plus 7.18, 27.20 give you 78. Now here, remember the 0 on the right, that's with the decimal, it does not matter. So even if you don't write it, it's okay. So remember the decimal that's on the right and it's a 0. Sorry, the 0 that's on the right of the decimal, it does not matter. So you can just write 7.8 and 78. And then what you can do is always best to deal with whole numbers, right? So we are going to take a decimal point out, move it to the right. How do we move it to the right? We multiply by 10. We know that whenever we want to move the decimal point to the right, we multiply by 10. You get 78 over 780. What is this? This is 1 over 10, right? This is the fraction. Now I solved this, but the question is actually for this one. What fraction of normal total price does he save? So this is the, I solved it for this second part. That how much did he save? 1 over 10. Now the next one they're asking what percentage of normal price does he save? You can do it in 2 ways. You can do it in a longer way. You can solve this, simplify this, and do it that way. Or you can do it this way, is that you got 1 over 10th is how much he's going to save. But it's not actually in percentage because remember percentages, they always have 100 at the bottom. So how can we make this into a percentage? Multiply here by 10 and multiply above by 10. So you get 10%, 10 over 100. But what does it mean? This is 10%. He's saving 10%. So how much is he actually paying? 90%. That's what they asked for. The percentage he's going to pay. So 90%. Okay, I think there was another part. I didn't Okay, sorry, this one didn't choose the answer. Again, if you have any questions, please comment down below. And here, what you get is that you're just going to put the coordinates in the graph. So what is that? Minus 3, 2. B point is 3 and 1, and C is minus 4 and minus 4, right? So let's figure that out. Let's go through each graph why it's incorrect. So for the first one, what are you getting? 2 and a minus 1, minus 3, sorry. So we cannot do that. That is like the first graph is not correct, right? Because the first A point is not correct. The next one, A, is minus 3 and 2. So that's the A point is correct. B is 3 and 1. That's correct. But C, here's 4 and minus 4. No, that's not correct. So be careful, check all the points because they can make a mistake in any one of them. The next one, A, is 3 and minus 2. Okay, that's incorrect. So the A point is incorrect. The next one, minus 3 and 2. That is correct. B is 3. So here it's 1, right? So this is incorrect again. So check, be careful each point because any point you can make a mistake. So minus 3, 2. This is correct. 3, 1. This is correct. And C is minus 4 and minus 4. There you go. So 3 of the points, they're here. The next one, what are they asking is that the points D is plotted to make ABCD a rectangle. What are the coordinates of D? So they're asking what are the coordinates of D. Now remember, rectangular, they all have the same sides, right? They have equal sides. I mean that these sides are equal and then this side will be equal, right? So now what happens here is that A, how did it move to B? Let's understand that they've already given us those coordinates, so you can figure that out. So minus 3 to 3, it means it moved towards the positive, right? So plus 6. And you can, minus 3 to 0 is 3, and then 0 to, remember, let me make a number line so it'll be easy to understand. So here it's 0, and here it's minus 3, and then it's 3 again. So how do you travel? Distance is always positive. So if you travel from minus 3 to 0, that's 3 points, and then 0 to 3 again, it's another 3 points. So 6 points, and it's going towards the positive. So it means that it is plus 6. And then the bottom one, 2 to 1, it went 1 point backward, so minus 1. Again, you're going to do the same thing with the C, and when it's going to travel to the D. So here, minus 4, how is it going to reach the first point? Plus 6. What is that? So minus 4 plus 6, what are you going to get? 2, right? So we're going to write 2 here. And then the second one, 2 to 1, it's minus 1. So minus 4 will become minus 5. This is the easiest we can figure out because other than that, you'll be guessing the whole time. You'll get the wrong answer. Right? So 2 and minus 5. So let's go to the next question. Let me erase this. Now here, remember in these questions, what you have is that this is a linear pair. There is a line going this side, there's a line going that side, and then there's a line in between. 78 and y, 78 plus y are supplementary. So what does that mean? It's a linear pair and they're equals to 180. If you want to find out what y is, first, what will you do? 78 plus y, you'll take 78 to the other side. Remember, what do? We subtract. So 180 minus 78, you can do that. That will get you 102. So that's the answer of y. You can get y like that. Now, another thing you want to keep in mind for a triangle like this is that look at these lines these lines. What are they? They're showing that it's an isosceles triangle, right? So the isosceles triangle, the angles opposite to them are equal. This is a rule. You should keep this in mind. You have to keep these rules in mind so it becomes easier for you to solve these questions. So it means that this angle and this angle are equal to each other. So if you get x, you will find out what this x is, the other x you'll also find it, right? So we know that every triangle is 180. Now we know the inner triangle, this one is 78, right? So 180 minus 78, again, 180 minus 78, you'll get 102. But what happens here is that 102 is for both the x, but we have 2x here. So 2x here. We have 2x here, right? Which is equals to 102 because this 102 is for this unknown angle and for the bottom angle. But we know that for the isosceles triangle, these two are equal. So they are 2x, right? So the unknown is x plus x. How we can easily find, which is 2x equals to 102. Again, if you don't understand anything, you have my email and you have the comment section down below. Always reach out to me. So x is equals to 51. Right? So you can simplify it and you get 51. Here now there are 15 girls in the music club. The ratio of girls to boys is 3 to 7. Now remember, whenever I talk to my students about ratios, I always tell them, so students I tutor, is that 3 to 7 is the most simplified form. The most simplified form. So even, and whatever you multiply, it's like a numerator and a denominator. Whatever you multiply above, you also multiply the same number at the bottom. So if you multiply 2 above, you'll get you also multiply 2 at the bottom. Now what happens here, there are 15 girls in the music club, right? So they multiplied a number by 3 that gave us 15. Now what is that number? 5, right? And again, what did I repeat previously? That whatever number you multiply above, you also multiply bottom. So 7 times 5 is 35. So they asked us for the boys, and that's 35. Again, let's read the next question. The number of boys and girls in the music club both double. So it means that the boys and girls both double, so that means the total also doubles, right? So what is the ratio of girls to boys? Reduce your answer to its lowest term. Again, if we're reducing it to the lowest term, you're multiplying the same number above and the number below. And then if you're reducing it, you're going to divide it by the same number and number above and below. So it means the answer is eventually going to reach 3 and 7 because they want us to simplify, and the simplest form is what they have given to us, 3 and 7. The next one, x and y. X and y, right? So here, remember this is a broken circle, but it still means 170 plus 60 plus x give you 360. Now what are you going to do? You're going to add 170 plus 60 minus 360, you get 130. So x is 130. 130. Sorry, I set me right, 130 here again. Now again, for the triangle above that you're getting, the number that you're getting there, there's y missing and there's an x missing. Whenever you have two values that are missing, always keep in mind that you're supposed to find at least one of them, which we already did. We got x as 130. Now again, what is this addition of all of this? What is this shape? It's a 130. You'll be adding it. Sorry, again, all of this, when you add it together for this shape as well, the total is 360. So what are you going to do? You get 130 for the x, right? You get 130 for the x. And you see those like tiny squares? Those are 90. So 90 plus 90. So 130 plus 90 plus 90, you get 310. All of this is 310. Again, you're going to subtract that from the 360 to find out what y is. What is that? 0, 5, and 0. So that gives you 50. Sorry, pressed a symbol by mistake. 0. The next one, here again, you're just supposed to multiply them because what are they asking for? The circumference of the circle. They gave you the formula. The diameter of the sport bike tire is 67 centimeters and they want it in centimeters. So you're not supposed to change anything. So you just multiply 67 times 3.14. I know some people struggle with multiplying, so let's multiply this decimal as well. Multiplying by decimals, I mean. So 7 times 4 is 28, 8 at the bottom, 2 above. 4 times 6 is 24, 26, 27, 27, 278 here. You cross out this, again, you do the same process. You remove that 2 above. So 1 times 7 is 7, 1 times 6 is 6. You cross out that as well. You get 2 zeros at the bottom. 3 times 7 is 21, 1 here, 2 up. 6 times 3 is 18, 19, 20, so 20. Right? And you just add them all together. What do you get? So 8, 14, 1 here. So 10 here, 1, 1, and 2. So remember, whenever you have a decimal number, above we have no decimal places, right? For the bottom one, we have 2. So we'll be taking the decimal inside twice. 1, 2. So what is that? 210. So 210 is the answer because they didn't tell us to write it as a decimal. They told us to write it as a whole number. So try to do this. Okay, sorry. Let's go to the next one. Here, a vehicle is traveling at 50 kilometers per hour. Let's zoom in, and we have 50 kilometers per hour. It's shown on the graph. So it's here. You'll trace it here. And remember, I hope I do it correctly. And then remember, there's one block above. And here, how many blocks do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So of course, it's like the counting. Every block is 1. So if we have one block here, it's like the line is going one block above 30. So that will be 31. And again, how do I explain this to everyone is that whenever you're doing this, right? Now you have 31, you figured it out. You can just do cross multiplication. So we have kilometers per hour. You can write here 50, which is 31. Sorry, let's go back. mph is 31, right? And another one, what is given to us in the next question? 150 kilometers per hour, but the mph is x. So you'll cross multiply. So 50x, so it's going to be 50x, right? And what is it going to be? 50x and 150 times 31. You can solve this. Sorry. 4650, and then you can simplify that with 50, right? So we got 50 here, which is x. So then you can simplify this 4650 divided by 50. Now remember the divisibility rule of 5, because they're both ending, the numerator and denominator, it needs to either end in 0 or 5, right? So our both have numerator and denominator ending in 0. So we can divide that. So 5, it will be 4650. So that will be 9 because that's 45. And then you have 0 here, 1 here, 15 at the bottom. That's going to be 3, right? And then 3, 15. And then you could just put the 0 up. So 930, right? So 4650 divided by 5, we got it as 930. At the bottom, you're getting it as 10. So that's become simple for you. You can cross out the 0 here, cross out the 0. So what can you do? Divide by 10, divide by 10. Because whatever ends in 0, you can also divide by 10. So 93 over 10. Over 1. So what are you getting? 93 here. 93. 93. Now here again, what are they telling you? Some children were playing a game with red and blue spinners. Each spinner is equally likely to land on the number 0, 2, 4, 6. Here are all possible outcomes. So here they're supposed to be actually the sum of these numbers, right? So you can write the sum, because what did they tell us at the bottom? The total score is the sum of the numbers. So here, what are they asking for the score? It's actually the total sum of the number. So what are we supposed to do? 0, 0 is going to be 0. We'll just write it here. 2 plus 0 is 2. 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 8, 4, 6, 8. 6 plus 4 is 10. Again, 6 plus 8, 10, and 12. Now they're asking us, drag and drop the scores in the list above. So now what you can do is from least likely to most likely. So what number are you getting the least and what number are you getting the most? So let's write. So 2 are you getting 1, 2, only twice, right? So 1 and 2. I'm going to getting it twice. 1 minute. Okay. 1 minute. So 2, you're only getting it twice. And then you have your, let's write it on the side. So 2, you're getting it only for twice. So cross this out, like put a mini cross. 4, you're getting it because we're only dealing with these numbers. So we just want to find out how many are they least likely or most likely to come in the score. So 4 is 3, 8 is 3, and 12 is only once. So least likely score you're going to get is 12. 2, then the next least likely you're supposed to get is 4. Then 4. 6 also. 6 is how many? 3. 6 is 3 again. So then, no, 4. So then you get 4. That is the least likely, just the 3. You're going to getting it 3 times and then the 6. The next one, they're asking us, what is the probability that we get a score of 8? Now, what did we study previously? What did we get? That 8 is 3. We're getting it 3 times. So 3 over, the probability is over always the number that you're asking for or the quality or whatever they're asking for over the total. So what is the total that we have here? There are four blocks on each row, and there are 4 rows, right? So 16. So 3 over 16 is going to be your answer for this one. Let's go to the next one. And of course, we cannot simplify it. Again, please don't forget to subscribe. Let's go to the next one. Here are 28 people in the drama club. The ratio of girls to boys is 2 to 5. So again, what are you supposed to do here? So 28 people in the drama club, again, they multiplied a number by the total number to get 28. Now, what is our total? They haven't given us a total in here, but we can figure out what the total is. We can just add them. So 5 plus 2 is the total number of people in the drama club. So that's 7. Now, 7, they multiplied it by something to get 28. Remember, 28. So 7 times what gives you 28? 4. Now remember, whatever number they multiply by the total or by any of the numbers, girls or boys, you can multiply the same number by what are they looking for. What do I mean by that? So here the total is 28. How did I figure that out? By adding the simplified version, right? So they multiplied 7 by 4. So it means they also multiplied the 2 times 4. So then there are going to be eight boys in this drama club, right? 8 boys. And then how many girls are there going to be in the drama club? Again, we were trying to look for the number of girls in this drama club. So they multiplied the total by 4. So we're also going to multiply the girls by 4. So times 4, 5 is going to be 20. Let's go to the next one. 9% of 400, you can do this 9 over 100 times 400. You can simplify this, cross out the zeros. 9 times 4 is 36. There you go, 36. Remember, to be quick as these, you have to be good at your multiplications. So always keep that in mind. The next one, what are you getting, is 80% of 320. Now they're asking 80 is. So now remember, what are they writing? So x over 100, because percentage is over 100, times 320 is 80. So what do you do? X over 100 times 320 is 80. So what do you want to find? You just want to find x, right? Because what is a percentage? Percentage, you can think that that's the 100. So we can just write the 100 here that they've given us, that there's 100 at the denominator. Think of it in that way. So 320 x over 100 equals 80. You can take it to the other side. So 80 times 100 over 320. Again, you can simplify this. You know that in the multiplication of 8, always whenever you have fractions like this, try to find out if in the smaller number you have that multiplication. So we know that in 80, 8 times 4 is 320. So I can just multiply here, this will be times 4 gives me 320. So I know that in the multiplication of 80, or 8, if you think of it, is 320, right? So I can divide here by 80, and I can divide here by 80. So here I'll get 1 times 100 over, what are you getting? 4, right? So what are you getting? 4. So now what you can do here, you can simplify this by 2. It's always easier, so 100 divided by 4, right? So you can divide this, let me write it in a clear, 100 divided by 4. You can you can also try dividing by 4 by 100. Because again, there's a divisibility rule of 4. So divisibility rule really help you to find out, to simplify faster. So we know when there's 0, 0, that's always going to be divisible by 4. So that's in the divisibility rule. So you can always find that out. So that's 2, that's 8, 2 at the bottom, 0, and 5. So 25. There you go. 25 is the answer. Let's go to the next one. Again, here is just cross multiplication. 3x equals to 1 over 10. You can 30. There you go. That's for x. You can take the x above and then 30 to the other side. 30. Next one. Here again, 25% of x is 42. So 25% of x times x is equals to 42. Now, remember, whenever you're multiplying this, right, you go to 25x over 100. Even if you can simplify it on this side, it's like it will be better rather than taking it to the other side and simplifying. But let's take it 42. When you take it to the other side, it flips. If you want to do multiplication, 25 over 100. So what happens here, you can simplify this. Sorry, I forgot to flip it. So 100 over 25 over 25. You can divide here by 5, you can divide above by 5. You get 20 above and 5 at the bottom. Again, you can simplify this again. So divide by 5 and divide by 5, so that will be 4. So 42, so this will be 4, right? 4 over 1 times 42. So 42 times 4. 4 times 2, 8. 4 times 4, 16. So 168 is the answer here. So I've showed you how to do that, so you can follow the steps and find out exactly where exactly you're making a mistake or you're not making a mistake. That's why I do them so extensively, so you can find out exactly where your mistake is. And you can always comment down below and don't forget to subscribe. Now let's do it here. It's 0.075 as a percentage. So 0.075, I know that a percentage is always has the denominator as 100. So here in the decimal, what is the denominator? It's 1. So I'll multiply here by 100 and I'll multiply above by 100. So what do I get? 1 to 7.5 as the percentage. And the bottom it will be 100, which is represented by the percentage sign. Sorry, we'll go to the next question now. Here, 54% of weight of one kind of chocolate hazelnut is cocoa. So, okay, initially let's read the question. At a shop, there are two kinds of chocolate hazelnut which are sold for 50 grams of jar. So there are two jars, both of them are chocolate hazelnut, and they're for 50 grams, but they're different kinds, right? So 54% of weight of one kind of chocolate hazelnut is cocoa. So they're saying that one of the jars, it has 54% as cocoa. What weight of cocoa is in their jars for 50? This is direct 54% because they gave us the 54% of one kind of chocolate is cocoa already. They just want to find out what is it in grams. So 54 in percentage times 450. Now why am I multiplying it by 450 directly? Because I just want to find out how much of this percentage of 450 gives me, because this already is cocoa, right? So how much of this cocoa percentage multiplied by 450 gives me the total amount, right? How much cocoa is actually inside. So I'll simplify this. What do you get? You can cross out the 0 here, cross out the 0 here. I know they can both be divided by 5. Divided by 5, they're both present in the multiplication of 5. So that'll be 54 over 2 times 9. So then you can multiply 54 times 9. That'll give you 486. Now remember, they're both even, so you can simplify that further. Divide by 2, so that'll give you 243. The next one, the jar of one kind of chocolate hazelnut contains 180 grams of cocoa. What percentage of cocoa is there in other kind? So what are they saying here now? That the jar of the other kind has 180 grams. How many did we have here? 243. This jar has 180. What percentage? Now we're going backwards. So they want to know how much percentage that is. Again, x over 100. You're just going to do the same equation did above, but now the x falls here. Right, remember, because they want the percentage. Times, how much was the jar again? 450. We multiplied the percentage by 450 to get 180 grams of cocoa. So to get 180, how much is that how much is that cocoa actually is in grams in that chocolate hazelnut? So you can simplify that again. You're going to get 9 times x over 2, right? So 450 divided by 100, sorry, divided by 5, and then that will be, sorry, you can cancel out the zeros, then you can divide by 5, so I'll give you 9, that will give you 2, then 9x over 9x, sorry, it will be 9x over 2 equals to 180. Now, when you take it to the other side, you flip it. So you multiply it here by 2 over 9. So what do you get 2 over 9? Again, you can simplify this because we know in the multiplication of 9, there is 18. So you can divide here by 9, you can divide here by 9. You can just look at this digits and find out that 18 is actually in the multiplication of 9. So that's 20 times 2, which is 40. Let's go to the next one. Here, again, the reflection. Now, what is a reflection? A reflection is just how the object, it's going to be now, what do we keep in mind when we're dealing with reflection? Is that the definition of that? Now, what is the definition when you're dealing with reflection? Is whatever the shape is, it's going to have different, whenever the reflection is, the shape is going to be just not opposite to it, but it will just be different corners. So now you see it. If you're also standing in front of the mirror, right? Your left in the mirror becomes the right, and the right becomes the left. Now what is that? Here, so it's going to face each other, and it's going to be facing each other. Now which of these is facing each other? This one and this one, right? These are the ones that you will see that they're facing each other, none of the others. Now translation is that it's exactly the same triangle, just it has been moved. So it will be the gray one. Exactly same triangle, just has moved. Sorry, I think there's another one. Oh, I didn't choose. Okay, sorry. Purple one. The next one here, what are you supposed to do is that you're supposed to find the formula for this. Now, what is it? X plus X is X plus X plus X is 3X, and they're finding the parameter. We know that whenever you're finding the parameter, you add all the sides. Now, there are two different kind of sides that are denoted by X, they're 3, and by Y, it's 5Y. So what are you going to do? 3X plus 5Y. The next one, sorry, I forgot the plus and add, plus 5Y. The next one, use your formula and just need to put this. So now here, remember, when I wrote 3x plus 5y, why did I do this? It's because I was keep on adding x plus x plus x. Now remember, when you keep on adding a same alphabet again and again, or same number again and again, when you're adding it again and again, you can just write the alphabet and the number of times it's being added, you multiply it. Okay, so it was being added 3 times, and what is the unknown? It's the x. So 3x plus 5y. Okay, so what are we going to do? We just want to put 6 here in place of the x, so 3 times 6 plus 5 times 3. So what is that? 6 times 3, we know it's 18, plus 5, it is 15, 33. Right, just add them and you'll get the answer. In the next one, I know some students, a lot of my students that I tutor, they were struggling with this. So how I explained it to them is that 3x plus 5y, right? That is the question here. That is our equation, and that's what they're asking us to find out what x in and what y is. That gives you 30. Now here, keep this in mind that you're multiplying. So you need to understand this x, whatever you multiplied with, is going to be in the multiplication of 3. And 5, but the number you multiply it is going to be in the multiplication of 5. So that gives you a hint. Now 3, whatever you do, it has to be 3 multiplied by any 3 multiplied by box, which is your x. It has to be less than 15. Sorry, it's less than 30. So it means that's going to be less than 10. What we can do here is easily, you can multiply here. We know, now think, 30 is what? 15 plus 15, right? Or 30 is 10 and 20, right? Or 30, you can do it in other ways, 28 and 2. Right? Now we know that 10 and 20, it's going to be in 5, but you can't find that in 3. So we cannot choose this one. 30, 28, and 2, you can find that in 3. Sorry, you cannot find that in 3 nor in 2. So not this one. And so what is the best case? It's 15 and 15. You can find that both in 3 and 5. So 3 times 5 gives you 15. And 5 times 3 will give you 15. Right? So you can find that here. For x, it will be 5, and for y, it's going to be 3. Okay, now here you're going to count the number of patterns there are. So what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4. Then there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 for this one. The next one, 3 again. What are you going to do? Add all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's going to be 10. So what are they doing? They're adding by 3. The next one, it's going to be 4 is going to be 13. And the next one's going to be 16. So you understand the pattern that they're adding by 3 each time. How many sticks would be in the pattern? 10. Again, you keep on adding. So 16 plus 3 will be 19. So then 19 plus 22. So this is 6, 7. And then 22 plus 3 will be 25. That's going to be 8. 28 is going to be 9. And 28 plus 3, it's going to give you 31. So that's going to be your 31 patterns. Now again, they're saying 100 sticks. So remember, you keep on increasing it by 100 and 100. So remember, in the 10th pattern, we got it as 31. Remember, you reached from 0 till 31. So from 0 to 31 patterns in 10, whenever you have 10 patterns. So how many others can you have? So 10 is here. Then imagine you have 20. So it's going to be 60. So you're just going to add another 31. So that's going to be 62. Then again, you're going to be traveling to 30. So 30, what am I saying? 30 patterns. So 10 patterns, you got 31. Then 20th pattern, you're going to get 62. Then add another 30. You're going to add 2 and 92, right? So you're getting 92 for this. Sorry, 31, 93. So another pattern, when you reach 30th pattern, you're getting 93. Now you're getting closer. So we're just going to add. So keep on adding 3. So you get 31. That is 31 plus 3 is 96. Then 32, which is 99. And then 33. So we're going to choose the larger number, which gives us 102. So the pattern is 33. Okay. The next one. Here, what is the which coin together weighs 6.81? Now remember, what is 6.81? 6 plus 6. So which is going to be 5 pence and 1 pence. You can always add them. It's the way that we're looking at this part. You can add them and find out which one gives you 6.81. The next one. Okay, here you're supposed to get them in decimal. So 2 over 1. 2 over 1, you get 0. You need to add a 0 here, right? So you put a 0 first up and then decimal before you put the 0 at the bottom. Okay, let me explain that once more. So 2 and 1. Now 1 is smaller than 2, so you need to add a 0. Remember, whole number after that, there's always a decimal. So you'll add a 0 first, and then you'll remove the decimal and then put a 0 in here. Now when now 2 times 5 is 10, so 0.5. I can just go here and do 0.5 in here. Okay, I'll just do 2 in this. So 3 and 5, sorry. 5 and 3 here. So 5 and 3, 0 again. And then what is that? 0.6. So it's going to go here in 0.6. Convert all of these fractions into decimal numbers, and then you can find out. Here, median is the middle number. So what is the middle number? You can see from here, it's 155. You can also write it on your paper. You can extend it like this, 137, 137 in a straight line, and start crossing them, right? From this side and that side, and you'll find out 155 is the middle one. The next one is mode, is the number that is being repeated most frequently. We can see that that's 156 because that's being repeated 3 times. The last question is your degree. Remember, whenever you have degrees of a circle, it's always 360. Now you have 52, 66, and 90. You can subtract that from your 360. So minus 90. So you can add all of them first. So how can we add them? We get 90 plus 66 plus 22. Okay, so 360 minus 90 minus 66 minus 52. You'll get 152 in this one. And remember, the largest one in here is your watermelon. So you're just going to choose that one. Remember, sorry, the ones with the watermelon. The largest is this one. Sorry, my bad. Okay, thank you for your time. Please don't forget to subscribe. And any questions, ask me in the comments down below. And please spread it between your friends. Please subscribe.